President Trump said on Monday that taking Tylenol during pregnancy might be connected to autism. This has caused debate about acetaminophen, the main ingredient in Tylenol, which doctors have long thought was safe for pregnant women. Trump said pregnant women should only take Tylenol if they have a very high fever or cannot handle the pain without medicine. So, taking Tylenol is not good. I'll say it. It's not good, Trump said at the White House. Trump also suggested that leucovorin, a type of vitamin B, might help treat autism. Autism affects how people communicate, interact with others, and behave. These ideas came after Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reviewed the issue. Kennedy has promised to challenge big drug companies, but has been criticized for supporting conspiracy theories. Medical groups disagree with these claims. They say the evidence connecting Tylenol to autism is weak. They point out that while autism rates have gone up a lot in recent years, pregnant women aren't using Tylenol any more than before. Until now, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, hasn't found proof that Tylenol causes autism. So far, the FDA hasn't found clear evidence that proper use of acetaminophen during pregnancy causes problems for pregnancy, birth, or child development, the FDA says on its website. But the FDA still recommends talking to a doctor before using any medicine, including acetaminophen, during pregnancy. Autism affects about 1 in 31 children and 1 in 45 adults in America. More people are worried about autism rates going up as more people learn about the condition. President Trump said autism rates were only about 1 in 10,000 a few decades ago. Horrible, horrible crisis, Trump said. Secretary Kennedy promised Trump he would find out what was causing more autism cases and report back by September. Kennedy said studies found a possible connection between acetaminophen and later diagnoses of autism and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Because of this, the FDA will change Tylenol's safety label and start a public awareness campaign. He said acetaminophen's safety regarding child development has never been proven, so people should be careful. Kennedy hinted he might later connect vaccines to autism too. Kenvue, the company that makes Tylenol, disagreed with the administration's advice. We believe good science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism, Kenvue said. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise and are very worried about the health risk this creates for pregnant women. The company and medical groups said acetaminophen is important for pregnant women to treat fevers that could cause miscarriage or birth defects. Dr. Stephen Fleischman, president of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, called the conclusion reckless and likely based on poor studies. We are not changing our advice right now. There's no new information, he told CNN. Dr. Fleischman said HHS seemed to be using a combination of many studies over long periods of time. Those studies sometimes include studies we wouldn't agree with, he said. Some smaller studies have found possible links between autism and acetaminophen. A 2019 study connected acetaminophen exposure before birth to autism. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary pointed to studies from the Boston birth cohort and top universities that found patterns linking acetaminophen use to autism. Of course, you'll find studies that say different things. That's how science works, he said. A big 2024 study by the National Institutes of Health and Swedish researchers did not find increased autism risk from acetaminophen, and a U.S. court reached a similar conclusion. Trump said that only good things could happen by avoiding Tylenol. Don't take it, he said. There's no downside in not taking it. Others said the president was putting pregnant women in a difficult position. Mia Ives Rubley from the Center for American Progress said the guidance will likely lead to blaming parents if their children have autism and discourage the safe use of medicine for pain and fever during pregnancy. The suggestion to use leucovorin, a type of vitamin B used in cancer treatment, caused less argument. Small studies showed small improvements in verbal skills for people with autism who took leucovorin, so it is worth exploring further, former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb told CNBC. I think we need larger studies to really prove if there is a connection between the drug and improvement, he said. Trump promised to let Kennedy go wild on health after Kennedy dropped out of the presidential race and supported Trump. During his confirmation, Kennedy promised to figure out why autism rates are increasing. However, he was criticized for suggesting vaccines might cause autism without proof. Trump also talked about vaccines during his White House event, saying babies should get immunizations spread out over time instead of multiple vaccines at once. He said there is no downside in taking the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines separately, though scientists say it's more efficient and less painful to combine them. This is based on what I feel, Trump said. Trump and Kennedy hinted at this announcement at a cabinet meeting in August. We're finding certain things now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism, Kennedy said, and we'll be able to address those in September. Trump said there has to be something artificial causing this, meaning a drug or something. More recently, he said the announcement would be one of the most important things that we will do. Kennedy's Make America Healthy Again movement has many fans and critics. Connecting autism with a drug shows Kennedy's influence in Trump's government. The secretary was praised for looking at diet and what Americans eat, but his work on autism and drugs has been controversial. He fired the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Susan Monares, over the summer when they disagreed about a panel that advises the CDC on vaccine policy. The panel recently weakened its COVID-19 vaccine recommendation. They now say people should talk to their doctors about whether to get the vaccine, instead of recommending that everyone 6 months and older get a yearly shot.